bowl of food.
Way a squawking dead. Welcome to tonight's belated show. We're here with the Fab Four, Dave, Carol, Chris, and Rachel. Welcome back. We just got back from Camp Merrimack Charity Bash, Chris and I. We had a wonderful time. And first order of business is that we have updated the website to kind of reflect our TWD Season 5 colors and graphics and wonderful stuff. And thank you, Walker Win, or Win the Walker on Twitter, for our new banner, our bracket background image, etc., etc. She is awesome. It looks great. It has all the Fear the Walking Dead characters. I love it. You love it. Let's move on. Another thing is that in case you missed it, you can now get to the merch link via the website. Click on the main menu, click merch, you're there, and you're welcome. I think let's go around the room. Let's go around and let's share a little bit. Rachel, what's been on your mind? What's been going on lately? What are you doing?
Well, personally, not so much. Same day, same stuff, different day.
Yeah, same poop, same growler.
Just life. Yeah, but something pretty exciting. Thanks to Chris now with recent donation to the St. Jude's Children's. Yeah, you.
Oh man.
To the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. We're now over $500 towards the $5,000 goal. So if we keep going with this momentum, this will be gone.
Yes.
And of course, more importantly, the kids will have money.
Yeah, whatever.
No, the kids. Yeah.
Fuck the kids. No, that's great. And I have a link in the description for this podcast already. So if you want to go hit that up. I mean, obviously Instagram, you're going to have to choose the other stream to find it. And it will be in a blog anyway. So you can hit that up and then click the link. And it's in Rachel's user profile as well, CosmoMom09 on Instagram, and CosmoMommy09. Is it on your Twitter?
No, I couldn't figure that out.
Well, I mean,
it's on Facebook, so Rachael Burt on Facebook.
That's right, Rachael Burt on Facebook, Rachael.
That's
Burt
right
on Facebook.
Yep.
Wonderful. It's good to see you guys on Instagram. Thanks for joining. We're like 2 hours late. We actually literally had an entire show before coming on, and we were just listening to Christopher Walken impressions, Saturday Night Live. What else were we listening to? I don't know.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL.
Side note, do you guys listen to Howard at all?
I don't, but not anymore.
Stern?
Yeah.
Not recently. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Did an amazing interview lately with Dana Carvey. And I completely forgot about all the characters he used to have on SNL. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, holy crap, I forgot about the church lady. I forgot about Hans and Franz.
What?
I totally forgot about these guys. It was awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah. And he actually recently had not recently, in the last couple of years, there was a docu on him as well, right?
I have to check that out.
Yeah, on Hulu.
Oh.
On Hulu. So yeah, check that out. I still have, it's like the Netflix effect. You have tons of things queued, but you just don't want to watch them there's like never a good time to actually watch them. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. So I'm really happy. So you've raised a total of about $500, I think.
Just over 500 so far.
Which is like a tenth of what you need, right?
Yeah. Making some headway.
People? Guys, donate. I'm here to pressure you right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, I'll do a little shameless plug, but
do it. I was going to get to you next.
Well, if anybody wants a way to donate to Rachel's cause, they can do it by if they want some Beast Mode merch. You guys can do it by going to the BMNY Deadcast merch store on TeePublic, and that's how you'll look it up. It'll be BMNY Deadcast merch. Right now.
I think you could just put in BMNY, right?
It might even come up too, yeah. But I'm actually I have art on there from some other artists.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I
That's
did
awesome.
Some art for Tiffany Law, who is going to be out of work for a while because she's having a baby and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she started up her own page, so that way she could like a way of making money and everything. So I commissioned some of her work. Anyway, all the sales that I'm going to have, I've told Rachel that I'm going to donate to her cause for St. Jude's. So all the sales that I get from, it'll be for June, July, and August, will go to St. Jude's for raising money for her to shave her head, basically.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, how bad do you want to see me shave my head?
There's like that Schadenfreude like part of me that's like, it's pretty, but like I want to see a pretty thing burn. Like, like
right?
just take it down. I mean, you'll feel bad when it's gone, but
my hair grows pretty quick. It'll be back fast.
Yeah. I figured. and luscious than ever. So yes, head over to the BMNY merch store. Can they get it from bmnydadcastlive.com?
They can go to the website as well, and the link for our web store is there.
Yeah, that's right.
bmnydadcast.com.
Right. Is there a link also on your YouTube page? Because I think what I use for... Yeah, okay. Because I have the link to your YouTube channel in our stats about where everybody is.
I don't know about YouTube, but our Twitter page, it's definitely on our Twitter. It's on our Instagram.
And I noticed that I think you changed the usernames to all reflect BMNY Deadcast Live. Yeah. They're all consistent now.
Tried to really streamline things, make it easier for everybody.
Yeah. As well you should. That's awesome.
About as tech savvy as I get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what news do you have? Any news that you have in the meantime? I mean, outside of Camp Merrimack Charity Bash, which we'll get into.
So I'm like 70-30 right now on if I'm going to do it or not. Coming up in 2 weeks, there's a chance for me to be a PA on a movie set.
Huh. Oh. All right, let me get this back up and running. Nope. And we're waiting for everybody to come back right now. This is stupid. One day I'll buy some merch, because if you buy merch, what will happen is okay, we'll start over from there. But once we get everybody online.
Yeah.
Why? Oh.
And then I'll start recording again. That was like the biggest problem too. Loud. I mean, the last couple of shows, I didn't start recording right away. And so I had to use the YouTube audio or the Facebook audio. Yeah. Anyway, I'm recording now.
So yeah.
Okay, so you were starting as a PA and you said you were 70-30.
Yeah, I'm like 70-30 leaning towards doing it. I'll be there from the 20th to the 24th working. I just kind of like threw myself to it. I was like, it'll be fun. It'll be a new experience working on a movie set. I'll be, basically like an assistant to, all the actors and stuff like that. I'm driving them around or doing whatever. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's down in North Carolina. So it'll be a little bit of a hike driving it, down there and then staying there working for 4 days and then coming home. But I mean, how many chances do you get to do something like this in your life? And how many times do you say no? How many times do you say yes?
100%. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And so how long is that going to be again?
I got permission from Vanessa.
That's good too.
Hi.
Don't worry, you're not married yet.
Too.
That's awesome. So you can't say what movie yet, right?
I don't know if I can actually.
Okay, well that's fine.
I'll find out. Because as soon as I can, I'll start promoting it.
Okay. Now, how's this going to impact the podcast? Or what?
Oh my God!
not our podcast. Actually, I don't even know what to call your show because it's kind of like more.
Vlog.
It's evolved into like an interview show, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just. How does this affect the Deadcast?
That's what
I was getting into.
I'm not sure. I mean, if anything, it'll line up. I can line up people from other genres to hop on. It's. I can tell you that it's a horror movie. It's vampire-ish, and it's gonna be like out in the woods. We the one funny thing we did do the other day is I was like, hey, let's look up the area that that's all gonna be in, And Vanessa Googles it and she's like, oh, she goes, this is interesting. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
She's like, oh, there's like 2,000 people that live in this town. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, there's like 2,000 people that like live in this whole area. And I'm like,
This whole big region, you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, maybe that's why they're filming there. You know,
Yeah.
there's lots of area.
We need lots of PAs
Yeah.
to handle clearing large portions of this area.
Well, you know,
not a lot of people.
Unfortunately, I know as soon as I go down there, I'll become like the whipping boy for all the heavy lifting. So, you know, that's usually the way things go.
You got typecasted, son.
Yeah.
They didn't want you for your talent.
No.
What a shame.
I wasn't even thinking that at all. So.
Well, yeah, it's grown, but like it's fun. It's kind of good to be on set. I mean, you'll be in the credits. That's something. Yeah, but it's also like you get to be around the set. You get to know what it's like. You know,
exposure.
And that craft services, son.
Yeah, craft services.
Awesome.
Yes. I'll have more salty procured meat, please.
and cheesecake.
And cheesecake.
We'll get to.
Oh my god!
How is that? I leave with that impression. Post Camp Merrimack Charity Bash.
I was so bad with
you were so bad. I've never seen a person go for, was it thirds in the same day?
It was bad.
but Dave, you got to try the blueberry cheesecake. I'm like, shit, man, you're right, but I can't.
The Oreo cheesecake. Oh, we'll get the cheesecake. Oh, don't worry.
Okay, and last but not least, Carol. I have to know. I need to know the story beginning to end, because I mean, I know. I guess school was out by the time you did this, but you're around the world. You're like hopping on, shooting Instagram pictures from this country, that country, and it's beautiful. So tell me more. Lay it out. How did this come about?
Well, Natalie finished preschool, like, I want to say, was it May 9th? And then the very next day, we like flew out to, Spain and Italy with a stopover in Portugal. So it was, we were there for 10 days, like half and half. It was awesome, but exhausting. Like, I mean, it was great. And it was so awesome to see everything. But at the same time, it's like one of those vacations that you need to recuperate from the vacation.
Yeah. I need a vacation for my vacation.
Yeah. So it's like I came back and then I just kind of hit the ground running again, because we came back on like a Sunday and I had to go back to work on Monday. But I mean, honestly, the kids were troopers. Like I was kind of not sure how this was going to go. I was like, well, this could go either way. this could go left pretty quick.
Yeah. Did you take trains pretty much out there everywhere? Or?
Trains?
We took like public transit and just kind of walked it a lot.
Really?
Honestly. Like,
so where is it now? Like where? We start from the beginning and then
we flew out of Miami, where we're at. We made a connection in Portugal. And from there, from Portugal to Barcelona, hung out in Barcelona for probably 4 days or so. And then took a plane from Barcelona over to Rome.
Okay. So you're planing it. Okay.
Yeah. Rome was awesome. Amazing. It's just one of those things that you need time, man. Yeah. Like, I mean, because you try to fit in as much as you can, but I mean, you can't. There's just too much, you know? So we did a lot, but I mean, we ran into like other like Americans there, you know, at some of these sites, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, we've been here for about 35 days. I was like, 35 days.
How old are these Americans? I'm just
retired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Retired. Yeah. They were unemployed.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, yeah, there's no other way. This is the only way you can like be out there for like 35 days. They're like, yeah, we're just winging it.
Yeah, Ms. Mazel saying she knocked herself out in a bus in Barcelona, which I kind of want to hear about. Get on the show.
Knocked herself out of a bus in Barcelona.
She's very much punk rock. So it's like doing. I think she would knock herself out while napping. She's so punk rock. That's how she rolls, you know.
Yeah. It was cool though. It was cool. The weather was awesome. You know, no complaints. It was just a lot, you know. And it was funny because I came back and like. I thought like I was going to eat all this food and like come back like humongous, but I feel like you walk. I really did. I was like, I'm going to come back like 15 pounds bigger because I'm going to eat my way through every place that I go. Like I fully went in with like an intention. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to eat everything. But you're just like walking around like so much, like just here, there, everywhere that it's like, no. I was like, no wonder Europeans are so skinny. It's all
well, and then portion sizes and the wheat, the type of wheat that they eat is different.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm sure portion sizes are a lot more controlled in other countries.
Sure.
It's really funny because on the flip side, I know somebody who's Danish and they came to Florida to go to Disney World and they were super excited for Cheesecake Factory. They're like, wow, I'm in America and I'm in a Cheesecake Factory. Look at
Wow.
Well, the way that they eat out there too, their meals are completely structured differently from where they eat heavy and where they eat light. They eat later as the day goes on.
Exactly.
They eat lighter, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your heavier meals are earlier in the day.
Yeah, like breakfast, lunch is your biggest meal. That's when they shut down everything for 2 hours to go home and whatever.
Yeah.
Nap time. Yeah.
Vanessa spent 4 months abroad.
Oh,
4
wow.
months abroad, yeah. When she was in school.
Your fiance.
Yeah. So I went out to Florence to visit her, and
Oh, wow.
I had like a gelato eating competition out there.
I love you so much.
It was the most amazing thing in my life.
Because I can picture it now.
Yeah. After seeing me eat the cheesecake.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to go get another.
She brought me to this gelato place that legit would give you as many scoops of gelato as you wanted, basically. So they had it based on, whatever. And I'm like, let me get, obviously, I pointed they have like boxes, like cartons on the wall.
Yeah.
I ended up getting like a mini styrofoam cooler, basically, is what it boils down to, right? It was like a styrofoam cooler.
That's
I
awesome.
had 9 scoops of gelato in one, and then I went up again and got like another 3 or 4. I tried every flavor they had. It was amazing.
See, that's
they were
the thing,
looking at me like, you're an American. I was like,
Yeah.
I am.
I have your passion for I'm like an ice cream maniac.
Are you really?
Yeah, so much. It's kind of a problem. It's a real like the way you were putting down cheesecake and Camp Merrimack is like how I am about. I can go if I put myself to it. I could probably clear 3 pints in a night. Like Ben and Jerry pints. Done.
I feel no guilt after eating a pint of ice cream.
A pint? Yeah, I don't nothing.
Done.
No. It's a single serving, right?
No, it's 4 servings technically.
Nah. Those are individual.
Just start swearing.
No, it's just for a person.
Those are suggestions.
It's
that's how you're
just a
supposed to
suggestion,
eat it.
Carol. That's right. Oh my god. But yeah. So
it was awesome.
yes,
Now I'm back
back on track.
back on track for this next couple of weeks, and then I'm back on the road for work, actually.
So how long was that trip actually? Because that's the thing
10
that tripped me
days.
up. Okay.
10 days,
Because
yeah.
it felt like it was longer. Like
It did. Because it was just like so much packed into like a low amount of time that it felt like it was like a lot longer. But yeah, 10 days is a lot, especially like when you're staying in, like we stayed in Airbnbs, which actually
That's
the
cool.
Airbnb that we stayed at in like Rome was amazing. I mean, it was like really, really nice. So
oh, it's awesome.
way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel like you were taking kind of you're like taking a little walk on the wild side with the Airbnbs thing? Like, is this the first time you've done this, taking an Airbnb internationally?
I'm trying to think. I think so. I think it's the first time that we've done an Airbnb internationally, because I've been to Europe before, like many, many, many years ago, like when I was in my 20s, but we did the hostel thing.
Right. Ooh.
That's many years ago. Many years ago.
Many years ago.
It's before you
But
have a husband.
Yeah. It's like group of friends, like, okay, we can do the hostel thing. And it was like, and it was actually pretty good. Like we kind of vetted them out beforehand. And we were like, okay, this doesn't look like, a murder house. So it's fine,
That doesn't look like the movie Hostel.
Yeah.
Right. But these like Airbnbs, they were good, like especially if you're going with like a group, it's just easier to just do an Airbnb.
Wait, I forgot you were going in a big group.
It was a clan.
Yeah.
Big group of us.
Yeah.
It was good. Then
I hit something. I'm not sure what I did.
Well, you're coming out okay here, so.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's good because I can't see you guys at all.
Maybe you hit the gallery mode or whatever it was. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, trust in the fact that you look okay. Just don't start picking your nose.
No.
We'll see this. Yeah.
I didn't pick up my bowl of food and start scarfing it. They can't see me.
It looks yeah, exactly. They can't see me. If I use my Squawking Dead shirt as a napkin,
well, that's the thing. That's why I have like a sticker usually over my camera, because like I usually do, and I have to take it off when we do like the podcast, because like, if I have like a work call or something like that, like I don't want it to just, because I work from home sometimes, so it's like I can't have like something open up and I'm in pajamas, just sort of like.
Oh yeah. I mean,
like,
I work from home like 3 days this week. If my camera went on during like a conference call, because I use Zoom for the conference calls too.
Yeah.
And I've made sure all the settings are like, do not turn camera on.
No.
Do not even turn sound on.
I'm always afraid that by accident that thing will turn on. So I'm like, no, we can't risk it.
Yeah. I hear you. I think, actually it did go on. I think a couple weeks ago, I signed onto a Zoom meeting and like, it was fine. I had just woken up though. So things, and it's not like hair is going to be out of place, but you get that frog, you get that the eyelids look kind of funky, and you're like, did you just wake up? Like, nah, son, I'm getting older. Thanks for that. Thanks. Go fuck yourself, you customer whom I'm supposed to speak with respect.
What are you trying to say? I look tired?
Yeah, exactly. Your smart mouth. Anyway, so moving along to, I wanted to talk about, before we got into Camp Merrimack Cherry Bash, I don't even know how much we're going to go into it, but there are like some key moments that I think Chris and I could bring up.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to touch on the stuff that's been going on with FanFest and Walker Stalker, because it's starting to come to the fore.
I'm just going to eat now.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll give the backdrop while you don't say anything.
Okay.
So like Walker Stalker has, I think for a while ago, Walker Stalker was absorbed by FanFest. You can nod if I'm right on that, right? Okay, there we go. And it seems as though there's been like a lot of mismanagement, they haven't been coming through with their promises when it comes to their commitments when it comes to the cast and talent and stuff like that. So. And it's bleeding into the people who are actually buying tickets. I mean, to the point where people who are buying VIP tickets don't really see much benefit in actually getting gold, silver, and then adding platinum on top of it now. Yeah. So, I mean, you get some perks, but it just seems hardly worth putting hundreds and hundreds of dollars on top of what it's going to cost to actually get there. Mm-hmm. So it seems as though, just to kind of put the cherry on the top of the cake, Cooper Andrews actually vocalized this today, and we've been seeing and hearing we've been seeing moves by cast members to kind of subtly not appear in Walker Stalker events, but we've never heard one actually vocalize their lack of their actual, like, out of principle not wanting to attend. And he worded it pretty coolly and pretty nicely and kindly. It's kind of like he made it seem as though, like, look, it's not about you guys. I really do want to see you guys. I just want to see you guys in a medium that is, more hospitable, like towards the talent, and it just out of principle, not attending. I don't think he really highlighted exactly what it was, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I kind of wanted to bring it to the floor of, like, what do you guys think about this? I know that Jessica T. Cause on Instagram, Jessica, she, like, does the Carl and / Maggie cosplay, and she was, like, very heartbroken over this, because a lot of people get together to do cosplays and cosplay groups and and really kind of come from all over and get together and geek out and take pictures with the cast all together. Yeah. So it's kind of a big deal. But I was kind of like wanting to know what you guys thought. Starting with Carol, and then we'll get to you, Chris, at the end.
I think it's a shame, because I think, like, ultimately the fans suffer, That's the shame in it. Because, I mean, I've only been to one Walker Stalker, which was the one that we went to in Atlanta last year. And it's, it's a shame because, I mean, everyone there is in such good spirits. Everybody is, like, looking to have a great time, have their moment with the cast, all that sort of thing. So that's kind of disappointing to hear that sort of behind the scenes kind of mismanagement and, disgruntled, kind of feelings from the cast and all of that, because, then what happens there? Then what's the other medium? What are the other options? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, you can convince yourself that, like, there are horror cons that will have Walking Dead actors, but, like, and we're only so far in, and Interesting.
I mean, I understand like I understand the issue because it's become such a money machine. So that's kind of, I'm sure to an extent the actors might feel a little, not all of them, but maybe some of them do feel that it's almost like they're just kind of being like cattle, like just kind of like pushed out there to do this, do that. And they're not necessarily crazy about the way it's all kind of being handled. I mean, listen, when we went to Walker Stalker in Atlanta and when we were there, I mean, like, we got a sense of that from Tom Payne, even when we were like, when we met with him there, like beyond just the fact that, we didn't realize at the time that he had been killed off, but so I'm sure that was
doubly frustrating.
Yes, doubly frustrating. But you can tell, at least I felt like he was just kind of being stretched in like a million different directions. Like they were having him like man, like the Walking Dead Instagram takeover, and he was doing, and he it was a, he seemed like overwhelmed, like it was a lot. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're kind of used to this stuff like that too. But when you're at a con, I assume that they want to, be able to hang back a little bit and be led around. We have to go this way, you have to go that way. I'm like, okay, cool. But like also kind of take time and say hi to the fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Rachel? Because I know that you attended Chicago. It was a Fan Fest Chicago, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Walker Stalker and Fan Fest, and that was actually when I heard at that time that Fan Fest was sort of taking over. Everybody was telling me, pretty soon it's not going to be Walker Stalker anymore. There's not going to be a Walker Stalker. It's just Fan Fest, and then all these people are going to come and everything. And I totally agree with Carol. I mean, the fans are the ones who are ultimately going to suffer the most. I mean, my husband's outside. I spent thousands of dollars to go to Chicago. I mean, I spent a lot. I spent a lot of money. A lot. Like and for them to, I want to, when we were talking about it earlier, I want to believe that, Cooper's making this stand based on, the principle of the fans, that the fans aren't getting what they need to. And I like that aspect of it, but I mean, but if it's all about, coming down to money, and I understand like, promises, and when you say you're going to get paid, you should get paid. If they're not going to get paid, then say that, you know what I mean? And if that were the case, if they said, all right, well, we're not going to pay you, but come meet all your fans, would they show up?
It's possible. I mean,
I hope they would.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I told about this trip, they were asking, they wanted to know how much it was, right? Like to meet these people and get pictures and everything. And I've never been to anything like this whatsoever. So I had no comparison. Right. So I'm just like forking over money like it's normal. And then I come home and I had no idea. I had no idea what to expect. They were like, this is how much it costs. I'm like, okay, here you go.
Right.
And then they come home and I'm telling everybody about this. And like every single person, their jaw just hit the floor. They're like, you got to be kidding me. And all you got was a picture and a signature. I'm like, well, yeah, I got to meet them. Like, I was still on cloud 9 and they're like, that's ridiculous. Don't they make enough money? And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, they still took all this time out of their life to be there. Like, I'm sure they have family and friends they'd rather be spending time with. Like,
yeah.
But then I started thinking about it. I'm like,
yeah, right.
It was a lot of money.
well, for something that they give for free in an airport.
Yeah. And then you see people walking around and they're just like grabbing people real quick, taking, selfies. I'm like, I paid $80 for that, you bitch. So I mean, it's.
Yeah. Did you get that pose? Did you get that selfie with the right light?
Yeah.
And a volunteer telling you to hurry up. You did.
Yeah, I don't know. Most of the time they took my phone from me. I didn't even take the pictures, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
Imagine how short my arms are.
So yeah, I mean, I get the principle of it. I mean, don't, if somebody's expecting to get paid, they should get paid. Bottom line. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're kind of why you have all this money, so don't make us suffer for it either. I don't know.
And I think that's their point too.
I
think that's the other half of the quotient is that when, let's say when actors bail out, of an event, and it lets a whole bunch of people down. Well, I mean, maybe it's better to not announce that you're going to go at all, so this way people aren't expecting much of you, and you don't bail out of certain commitments. I don't think it's really necessarily about money. We spoke about this a little bit offline, and that's I think it's less about the money than it is about, okay, we set this up way in advance. I'm let's say I'm an actor. My schedule's set like 6 months in advance with a couple of holes in between, right? Just in case something pops up, like a charity thing, or I don't know, bar mitzvah. Who knows? Who wants to make $2,000 a night? I do. So, if we have our time committed, and even if I was going to do it for free, that's time I've committed for free to do this, whatever it's going to be, And let's say even if I'm doing it for free, there are certain commitments that you make that you're not going to make anymore. Well, I mean, it's kind of like rude. It's kind of rude, So I don't think it's the payment as much as it is like, okay, well, I what if I am concerned about payment? Well, then, if payment is not going to be included, I will prioritize this differently than I would normally. Like I could have done, let's say, something else. I could have done a charity event. If you weren't going to pay me anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you didn't give them the option of doing that. So that's really the kind of the principle of it. It's like, well, okay, the terms have changed. I could have reprioritized this, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'd be really mad if I felt like I was lied to as a celeb, as a celebrity, like one of these people. If I, like you said, if you're gonna make a commitment, fulfill it.
Yeah.
Anybody, I don't care who you are. Nobody likes being lied to.
Yeah. We come to terms, and then you honor them, and then I do my thing, and you do your thing. Your thing is paying me, if that's your thing.
Exactly.
But Chris, what do you think is going on with the Walker Stalker / Fan Fest? What's on your mind? What's going on, bud? Such an asshole.
We got like after school special.
Because he's such a good person. Such a good person.
I know what you want from me out of this.
No, I honestly don't want to see you squirm, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't not milk this just a tiny bit.
We're fans, right?
Yeah.
We're fans. I feel bad for the people who were supposed to attend, an event months ago and still haven't received any kind of refund, still haven't gotten any reason why they haven't been paid, refunded, whatever. And there's places of the world that don't even want to allow them back through the front door. There's people who work these events, and I mean, they bust their ass. When you go to one of these events, those people work hard.
Yeah.
And for you to be like part of that and to not receive payment and to just like I've talked to several different factions of people, from fans to people that have been vendors, that whatever, that are vendors. Even certain vendors haven't received payment yet.
Right.
There's
the company
actual,
that did the photos, right?
Yeah, there's not even, well, yeah, I mean, from vendors to even people who were there with their products, artists, whatever,
really,
stuff like that. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's crazy. So from a fan standpoint, I'm disappointed. I mean, most 90% of the people that probably more, 100. Well, I've met some people here in my own area, but most of the people that I know and that I've met have come from going to these events.
Right.
And, for a lot of people, yeah, it's for going to see this certain actor, or it's going to see this certain person or whatever. But for a lot of us, it's about being able to meet up because we live everywhere. And this is one way we stay connected or whatever. It's a genre and a show that keeps people linked together through, the love for it. And it's an extra way to be able to connect with the people that you talk to every day on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, where you share comments and laugh and everything like that. But then you actually get to unite with these people. So from that standpoint, I feel really bad. I'm sad for those people, because not for nothing. I work 2-3 jobs, and I've never been a person who has been able to afford or do the gold package, platinum package, whatever. I've always gotten in with a general admission, or I've had a vendor pass once, because I was working a booth. I actually went to go help out Oscar and work his booth, and I had a pass. So it's like,
nice.
Ryan, I believe, got his VIP tickets for Atlanta. I think it was. And that was even a stretch. So there's people who spend $600 or something, like an amazing amount of money for some of these packages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they buy all these photo ops and all these things. These actors cancel. So it's like, where's the refund? They paid you. What did you do with that money already?
Right. How's it being mismanaged?
Why is it not allocated? You should have money allocated for reimbursements already. Like before you're ready to even play in the event, you should be like, hey, look, we have, $20,000 ready for reimbursements just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something like that. So the money's not being managed properly, and it's leaving a real bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And it sucks for the people that love the show, because Walker Stalker is primarily for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, whatever. There's, like you said, there's other cons you can go to, but you only get maybe 1 or 2 people there,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3,
like a sprinkling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at was it FanFest Nashville? I think they're getting only one person from Once Upon a Time, it's just funny, and there's only like Walker Stalker where you can get only The Walking Dead and maybe a couple of other things, but the
primarily,
Walking Dead, cast and whatnot.
Yeah, and then there's like the flip side of the coin where I feel bad for the actors, because they don't want to take away from our experience.
Right.
Like they don't want to cancel on people knowing that people have bought and spent the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that what Cooper is doing, and I guarantee, because I don't want to say I know him, but I know him. I've met Cooper so many times. We interviewed him and spoke with him. You see him outside of, backstage or whatever. Like, I can't say I couldn't even think of a bad thing to say about any one of them that I've ever met or talked to. Because
I know one you could, but it's fine.
they've all been genuine people to me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine him doing it for any other reason, for the fact that someone did wrong by him, and that's it.
The thought that somebody would do something to kind of to screw him out of his stuff. It's just it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, so
it must have been really hard for him to do that too, by the way.
I would imagine, because
I bet, yeah.
He's one of those actors. He's one of those people that go to these events and I don't know if you guys have ever got to experience him at a con. I know you've been to him, but he literally makes, I forgot how much peach cobbler he made for
trays.
He literally makes trays of it to bring
for fans
and serve to people when they're on his line.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Really? Who does that?
No, nobody does that.
Yeah.
He does that.
Yeah, exactly. Kari's the same way. He's right next to him. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, when you have people like him and Kari next to each other who are on the show together, they have the friendship that they have. So, like, when you're on their lines and you're interacting with one of them, you get interaction from both, because something happens, somebody says something, whatever, and like you're getting double what you're even asking for, just because it's Norman does the same thing. He'll walk around, he pokes his head into other people's boots.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He came out and he started throwing like all these things, like I don't even know what they were. It was just memorabilia. He just started tossing out to people. Vanessa and I almost got trampled in Chicago because Norman came out and just started throwing things.
The
women went, the metal stands they have. Just everything, not bulldozed. women, Norman, you know,
People were impaled.
He's throwing things at everybody. It was like, oh my God. So it was just, you know,
chaos.
They all do so much extra.
Right.
You know, I mean, Michael Rooker, and God, that guy, he's amazing at a con, and like just goes above and beyond. Like,
yeah, the Merle.
Yeah. He like walked up to somebody, and this happened in Chicago. He walked up to somebody taking photos. He walked up to him and said, "Give me your camera." Took the person's camera and started walking around taking pictures of all the actors with their camera, taking selfies with the camera, and then handing it back to the person.
Merry Christmas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I mean, so many of them just do so much extra, and they do it just because they want to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you said, like they don't want to be like I feel like I guarantee a lot of them feel like they're caged and on a leash, and they can only do certain things. They're escorted. Yeah, they have their security. You know, obviously some of them need it. You know, a lot more than others.
Right.
You know, like you're not going to be Norman Reedus walking around by yourself. You know, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But you know, some of them want to stop and talk to the fans.
No, totally.
Some of them want to stop and talk to, you know, the cosplayer who's dressed up like them, and they're and it's like they said, they're being tugged in all these different directions.
Yeah.
You know, time restraint. Come on, yank.
Yeah, we have a good story about that. I think you have a good story about that. We can get to when we talk about the Xander Berkeley thing. Eventually. Okay. Yeah. We should definitely talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I wanted to talk about Walker Stalker first because Carol and I were at Walker Stalker Atlanta last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll admit it is the Nexus event. You know, it's the event that basically everybody should go to.
Yeah.
It's where everybody's going to be. The most people are going to be, both cast and fans. But I mean, I think everybody would agree that it's pretty overwhelming.
I mean, it is a lot. And for me, like I hadn't ever been to a convention at all. It was my first convention, period. So I kind of went into it. I mean, because Dave, like you've been to conventions before, I hadn't. So for me, I really had no idea what to expect whatsoever. And I remember when we first came in, I was like, because the way the Georgia Convention Center?
I think so.
It was, because it was a few floors and you first come in and it's very unassuming, you know, because you have all these auditoriums and all of that. And I was like, oh, okay. So the auditoriums, the panel discussions, okay. You go down this escalator and then it's like another floor where I forget if it was like food or something. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, I was like, this is fine, whatever. Then we went downstairs and I was like,
the world just opened up.
I was like, this is insane. And it was just everything. I mean, it was like tattoos, art, memorabilia, the actors, the photo ops, the meet and greets. It was like, holy hell, like, where do we even start?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it can be overwhelming. I mean, you really... you can get stuck and not even know where to begin, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this much, like for a Walking Dead convention, it's huge. I mean, I used to go to MagFest every year. MagFest is the music and gaming festival down in, what is it called? The little place in the Washington, it's in Washington, DC somewhere. National Harbor. National Harbor.
National Harbor, right? Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's so beautiful place, beautiful hotel there, and the Gaylord National.
Yes.
Anyway, we call it the Gaylord. So
that's what
it's huge. It's huge. It's the panels are in different rooms based on the category. So you'll have tournaments in a whole other section of the hotel. You'll have short films. Like in a completely different wing. Magic the Gathering in another set of rooms for Magic the Gathering, or like tabletop games. So like you're talking about, and then you have the big hall. You have two big halls for video game cabinets, and then a whole other big hall for merch. So like I'm not unfamiliar with huge cons, but I think the reason why it was so overwhelming is because, okay, even though at MagFest, let's say there are personalities that will have panels, there's just something about like one of your favorite television shows, series, not only getting to meet like you get to so up close to people you watch patiently every Sunday. And you're like, I don't know where to start. I want to give them all my money, but I know that if I do that, I'll have no money. So like, I know, Rachel, like yours is like, here it is, all of it. Take all my money. I'm like,
we had to be selective about it.
I'm like this. I'm like, okay. And then there was our time quotient too. It's like, I want to enjoy as much as I can, but then at the same time, it's like, weren't we supposed to do something here? Like, we're a podcast. Shouldn't we be podcasting or something? Or just knocking on people's heads going, hi, we're a podcast. Don't you love us? Don't you love us?
We were so new to it that we were just
so
like, okay,
new.
we need to just get our bearings and understand like how this all works here. And then like, you know, the other part of me just like fangirls out and it's like,
yeah.
That was me all weekend.
But it's deer in the headlights too. Like I know that because when I was looking at you, I was like, you were so cool. But now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh my God, she was freaking out on the inside. She was deer in the headlights.
Well, you know what's funny? I wasn't when because we kept talking, like we spoke with like Tom Payne consistently during that weekend because like we saw him at the club and like the music, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That's a longer story.
Which is nice, but yeah.
But I mean, I didn't feel I guess intimidated for whatever reason, like with him. So I didn't feel that kind of sense of like nerves on the inside. But the funny story is that like when we were like talking to him behind the scenes, I was so focused on him and like having my conversation and everything. I felt like one of those little trolleys, kind of, you know, little
the
like
golf carts,
go by and like honk the horn or whatever. And I saw you, Dave, your expression. And I didn't stop and whatever. And then after it was all done, I was like, so who was in the golf cart that like went by or whatever?
She was like beautiful. Again, I'll say it again. Beautiful mind to get with Tom Payne. But meanwhile, I'm like aware of my surroundings. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the mic or whatever. But like, of course, I see the golf cart go back. It's Norman Reedus, and he's like, beep beep. Hey guys, like ruining our interview.
No, so I'm kind of glad I didn't.
You, Norman.
I'm glad I didn't look because it would have totally thrown me off.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, good. I didn't look.
No, it was awesome. Like, I didn't even like react as much. I was kind of like, hey.
No, you didn't. But I know that. But I obviously saw that you recognized who it was. So I was like, oh, I wonder who that was.
Yeah. I feel bad that you got to miss that, but yeah, at the same time.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got the photo up.
I think you might even see it in the video. The video, it's hidden. But if you look at the live playlist, you'll come across it, and you'll see the golf cart come towards the camera. Let's get this back and up and running. Hey guys. Okay, I'm surprised that the Instagram stream has stayed up this long, and of course we'll probably lose that next. Come back. Ooh, spooky. How'd you enjoy that? Admit. They're pouring in now. All right, let's just admit all these bastards.
Dave, I'm gonna have to start donating money to you so we can buy the fucking Zoom.
I love that. That's the first thing I hear when I get back. You need to just buy the fucking Zoom.
This is to save the podcast fund.
Yeah, here's all my T-Public money. You fuck.
You piece of shit.
You motherfucker.
Okay, let's start recording.
We'll do a GoFundMe.
We lost all that comedy gold.
You motherfuck you.
So wait, what was I saying? I was just saying like
the trolley.
Yeah,
Norman Reedus.
Yeah,
trolley.
No, I was literally saying. Oh man, I don't know.
On YouTube.
Yeah, watching it live.
Oh yeah. Watching Tom Payne. So, you'll literally see Norman Reedus' golf cart moving towards the camera. You may even see like the wheel or whatever, but then you'll hear the beep. Oh, you won't hear the beep because there's no sound.
So you'll see your expression, like recognize.
Yeah, you'll definitely see my expression, right? You'll be like, you were like focused.
I was focused.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear it, but yeah, you'll see the focus.
But the thing is, it's like I would have been like, there are certain people that, you know, you do fangirl out, you know, or depending on who it is. Because if I would have had a chance to meet like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I probably would have been like this.
You meeting Johnny Bernthal was, I mean, we're not going to go through that again, but that was awesome. Like, just watching him, just react to him was incredible.
That was funny.
So I cannot even imagine how that would be with, like somebody else.
Like,
That was-
right?
Yeah.
That was pretty much how I was when I met Ryan Hurst.
I know. And you met him like
All 3 days.
All 3. You literally just gave everybody your money.
Yeah, I missed out on meeting Cooper and Michael. Just to see Ryan Hurst all 3 days.
He seemed really nice from like everything you posted.
He's very nice. I think. I don't know. I walked up like this.
No, you were. I could tell you were kind of like, you're like this probably, but on the inside you're like, wait, I'm doing this, but nobody can. I need to focus. It's think of a turkey just flapping its wings around like really panicky.
Yeah.
That's you on the inside.
That was me on the inside. I'm glad my friend Melissa was there with me because she did most of the talking to like everybody. Yeah, I clammed up. I think the best conversation was actually with Hartley Sawyer, who plays Ralph Dibny on The Flash.
Oh yeah.
We actually, we stood and talked to him for quite a while.
He sounds like
he gave us a lot of his time.
Guy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so freaking cool. I can't even. It was amazing.
You checking on our stream?
Yeah,
on our Instagram. BMNY Dadcast joined.
Hi guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna wave.
I won't be able to see it. Anyway. Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. But yeah, that's awesome. So in order to say that, so okay, I said that basically to say the experience is much. For people who don't go to cons as much, it's much. I mean, I'm sure New York Comic Con is just way more overwhelming.
I'm dreading that. I actually am.
Really? Okay.
Just because.
Why is that? Yeah. Because I've never been.
It's the second largest one in the United States.
Right.
Like, San Diego is the only thing that tops it.
It tops
Wow.
it? Okay.
Yes. Wow. Like, so I'm literally just, and I gotta have I gotta do a 90-minute fucking live
90-minute panel.
Yeah, like yeah. There's gonna be a lot of dead air.
No.
I
think it'll be fine. Like, and we'll get to that.
You'll get it.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of crickets that'll enjoy it.
Yeah, as long as you got it like programmed out, like you can nail it. I'm sure you can nail it.
Yeah.
That and it's like, okay, so it's so big though that like like who knows how it's going to be, who's going to be attending. I mean, I haven't got my tickets yet, but I definitely want to go. I want to show my support because I think, I mean, just from the way you guys did it in Camp Merrimack alone, it's just fun. I mean, you guys are just you guys don't pretend you're, and that's the thing. Like, you guys don't pretend like you're anything you're not. You don't pretend like you're like a big deal or anything like that. You represent the fans. You you ask the questions that fans want to know. You bridge the gap, and I think that's important. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, one of the memories that like that's going to stick with me is, I mean, for a lot of people who might not know, or if they heard me talk about it before, but like, I look up to a lot of these guys that like, you know, like Brendan Davis, Dave Solo.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Dave Solo was doing the the other event, the Sonoya Dead Bash. Oh, and we're at trivia night.
The other event. I'm sorry.
Oh, I whatever. Did the other event, Sonoya Dead Bash.
Yeah.
And and there, look, I had friends that were at that show. You know, people that I know, people, and to know that you're in the same area, and you probably won't see them or be able to say hi to them or whatever because we're doing our thing, they're doing their thing, whatever. And I'm at the door, and out of nowhere, the door opens, and I turn around, and Dave walks in, and he's just like, "Hey, man, I just want to stop by and say hi."
Damn.
That was such a great moment for me because I look up to Dave and what he does. Dave is amazing at that's where like I really knew that like I wanted to do more was when I met him in Jersey for the first time at Walker Stalker, and then again in Chicago, and just like Chicago was his last time doing one, and I just like watching him on stage and the way the way he conducts himself and everything like that. I can't be Dave Solo. I could just be me, but I look up to him, and like I always, if I have a question about something, I can DM him and he will answer me.
That's
like
awesome.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
You know, and he's, I mean, to me, where I'm at, I mean, Dave is he's big, he's bigger, he's up here, you know, he's big time. He, you know, he does things for Orlando, Universal, everything, you know, and the same thing with Brandon, though. It's like, I could message Brandon and he will write back.
Davis.
Yeah. Brandon Davis is like just money, you know, and he is such just a person who wants, they're both people who just want to watch the next guy come up, no matter who it is. And if they can help them out, they're going to do it. And it's amazing to know that there's people like that still in the world. It's comforting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the culture is moving in that direction for people who are succeeding, and they don't necessarily have to be like top of the, oh, well, we just lost the Instagram stream, but, give me a sec. I want to reestablish it, and then we'll reconnect. I love how like this thing that I'm using for Instagram is so great that it automatically copies the stream key that I need to paste.
Yeah, you did lose feed.
Yeah, there we go. And start broadcasting. Starting stream. Whoa, Instagram. Whoa. Hello. Boo. Anyway, what were we talking about? Totally forgot because I did that.
Yeah. No. Just, you know.
Coming up. Oh, yeah. You know, coming up. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah.
I'm usually one that gets things on track. Anyway, so, no, it's not even necessarily the people that are way up at the top, although I have seen people do that. I mean, Brandon Davis, he's not exactly 100% ubiquitous. Right. Dave isn't either. But the fact that they're where they are and they're willing to just bring people up, you know, with them, or even just the fact that they're like even interacting with as many people as possible. Exactly. It's just such a joy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and it could be anything. It could be like, you know, hey Dave, what do you think about, you know, if I were to, you know, like, because when you're talking to these people, you know, you don't ever want to. I never want to push an envelope, a personal thing or anything like that. But like even if it's like a question thing, you know, his feedback is valuable, you know. And like the other day, I hit up Brandon. I was like, hey Brandon, you got any like good mentions or like any kind of free programming I could do for like doing this and doing that? And he's like, dude, yeah, absolutely. You know, this is good, whatever. It's just the fact that like nobody, like they're not obviously they're not threatened, but they don't mind taking that minute to be like, yeah, bro, how can I help you? Yeah. You know, it's just, and it's like I said, it's just great that there's people out there who love doing that, who want to do that, you know, and those are just two guys that like, I look up to. So.
Yeah, same. And to the fact that you've grown this relationship, it's just so great. It's just so great to hear, honestly. And I'm sure others like are just with you on that too, because I think almost everybody I've interacted with, let's say on social media, has had not your experience, but has had a minor interaction with each of these people, and how awesome it is that they can have that, you know, and then when they see you have your experience or hear about you having your experience, it just kind of multiplies what they've already done. It's like, well, yeah, he is a nice guy, isn't he? It's good to see him raise us up.
Look, for Dave Solo to be on his stage at Walker Stalker in Chicago, all right? Yeah. Now, to me, Chicago was larger and more daunting than Atlanta was.
Really? Okay.
To me.
In terms of venue?
Yeah. Okay. For him to be on his stage during his time, to turn around and tell the crowd on 3 to yell out beast mode.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's wow. Crazy,
and then throw our shirts out to the crowd and tell those people to follow us. You know, like, that was like one of those in awe moments, you know? I was just like, that just happened. Like and I mean, his panels are not small, you know, like they surround for Dave, you know? So
yeah,
crazy.
Well, I think the point I was even trying to get to was that, like, in light of that, even having that and the scale at which, let's say, Walker Stalker Fan Fest is, what's really great, Camp Merrimack Charity Bash, to me, that weekend that we had in that Memorial Day weekend, that's going to get edited out. The Memorial Day weekend that we had in Sonoy, Georgia, where they filmed Woodbury and all these other scenes, that was just a singular event that was just so intimate. It brought together all these people that I've been talking to on Instagram mostly, you know, from the vendors to the cast to the handlers to the groups, all these different group DMs that you know that we're in and everything. And just to meet everybody and kind of get together and be people around each other. I mean, I'm not that way as much with the cast members, but I mean, I felt like Jason Kirkpatrick, the guy who played Alex from The Highwayman, is like my best friend now. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Like he's like, hey, you want to get lunch? Oh yeah, sure, let's go. And it's things like that. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, I guess we're down. Anne Mahoney is like, she's like teaching me how to act now. So go figure. You know, so it's just having that experience, and I think I wanted to kind of like pick some pretty awesome moments. Like, as many of you know, when I went down with the hat, the follow that hat, tag that hat, that Thorgon 9 was it's already in process, and we'll get to you, Rachel, as it's already going around the world as we speak. Yep. But it was such a conversation piece. It was very hot. So I was basically wearing a roof, you know, like when you go to the attic on a really hot day. That's what I was wearing on my head. So I'm like, every now and again, I'm like, you know, just kind of like every now and again. Oh, dude, Lance is on. Speak of the devil. We're talking about Camp Merrimack Charity Bash. And that guy is awesome, and we will. Hopefully, I can get to that, because we haven't even talked about Fear the Walking Dead, but. Yeah. We may never. So go fuck yourselves. but
true. It was all a ploy just to get you to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the fall. So yeah, I wanted to say first to Chris, it's been really great to have you practically take me by the hand, you and Ryan, as much as possible around the grounds, talking to people, introducing me to Chris, Twellmann, the German Abraham, who was like singular. Like, he's such a like welcoming, funny guy. He does not like
he hates it when I make fun of German accent. I do the German accent.
I basically think it's a New York thing. I used to do that.
I do the Arnold impersonation, and I just make fun of him.
Wow, get over here, Chris.
Yeah. He just. Yeah,
he's from Austria.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Well, yeah,
he's not even German.
But you know, it's what I got.
That's where you go.
He just looks at me and shakes his head. He's like, "You're
German. Yeah, you're German."
It's wild to hear him talk. You expect Abraham to come out, and that's not what comes out of his face.
But like, what comes out of his face is pretty awesome. I mean, he's just so funny too. Like, on top of being like charming, he's just funny. He makes you feel welcome in his place, and he's like, "Oh, you want a soda? Here's a soda. Go fuck yourself." Like, but he's awesome. He's just awesome. You want a beer or soda? You want to be a man? And okay. You want to be a little girl? That's fine. Cool. No, but he's really awesome.
He kept calling Dave my little action figure.
Yeah, which is weird. I'm like, doesn't it go the other way around? I'm like a pop figure.
This is what you would look like. Yeah, this is what you'd look like. Yeah, this is funny. Ha ha ha.
And I just took it. I'm like, I'll take it. I said, I'll take it. I'll take whatever you got. Yeah. Marry me now.
Right. He's great.
Great. Man. But yeah, I mean, he runs a really cool operation. How would you describe his place? I mean, it is like an artist's like kind of his gallery, but it's also like part cosplay scene like to be able to take these photos. How would you call it?
I would say if you were really, really tight on a budget, let's say, but you wanted to get the Walking Dead downtown Sonoy experience, just go to Chris's basement.
Yeah, it's air conditioned. First of all, let's start with that.
Oh,
Huge.
He has a replica Daryl bike. He has jail cells. He has signatures all over the walls from actors and actresses. He has
now the cells, or let's say the cage and all that stuff. Those doors, are those genuine, or like is that fabricated?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I think they might actually be like jail cells that he got from somewhere.
Somewhere, but not from
if he got them from the prison. I mean, that would be amazing. It dawned on me to ask him, but that weekend, as many memories as I took from it, it went in a flash.
Yeah.
And I wish, like, you just got done saying, like, what we were able to do. Dave, I don't feel like I did anything, like, for, like, you know what I mean? I know I did.
You
like,
did.
I know I was like, I
you
did,
totally did.
But I don't feel like I did. You know what I mean? It was just like, but
I can see how, like, when you were up there doing the panel with the interviews and stuff like that, I can see that going by really fast. But I think it's the other stuff that kind of, I mean, I'm not saying it took forever. I'm just saying, like, it was such a lasting impression to kind of interact with, let's say, Chris and Jason and even Xander, like, on the first night that I came in. By the way, in case anybody didn't watch my stories at the time, I had not slept for, it was 24 hours plus 36. It was probably 36. So I hadn't slept from the day before. And I had no time to kind of really do anything. So, like, I was going into it whole hog. I started by meeting you up at Chris's place.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just thrown into the deep end. I was already out of my goddamn mind. Mm-hmm. And here I am talking to Jason Kirkpatrick, shooting the shit, drinking a beer, watching Jason and Xander talk together. And now they're talking about, like, a film that Xander wants to do or whatever it's going to be. I don't know. But it was just weird.
I have so much video sitting on the camera that I brought with me that I'm trying to edit and break down so that I can post the interview we did with him. But I mean, the things that he's trying to do for the industry and for, like, where he lives now, which, I mean, it's public. I mean, he transferred his family from LA to Maine.
Xander Berkeley, right?
Yeah, to give them just a better upbringing. He didn't want to raise his children in LA. I can't blame him.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to post this video. Xander is one of the most intellectual, knowledgeable person that I've ever sat down and talked to, and the way he does it with such persona, and just, the guy he's 100% gold. Like, I mean, he's amazing. And I believe me, I'm trying to get this video done so I can put it out there for everybody, because it's an experience. Like, when, the first time, the only time we had him on our show, which I get him back, but literally our chat board came to a screeching halt. And usually people are always in there, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Our screech board, our chat screen came to a complete halt because he had everybody completely just
under his command,
under his spell. Wow. His storytelling, he goes into character, he absorbs you into this. And literally people were like, don't, and I took a break. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not asking any questions from anybody. And they basically were like, we don't care.
Just keep talking.
Let him talk. And that's what it was. We let him talk for 2 hours straight. We just sat there like this. Holy shit. And I mean, it was amazing. And he did it again. He did it again in Sonoy when we sat with him.
Yeah, wow. Definitely. Like, every time we sat with him, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just going. It's not even like a yarn or anything. He just kind of bounces within a subject, and sometimes he'll put on a voice, and sometimes he'll look you right in the eye and be like, "What do you think about that?" It's just singular. Again, it's singular, and it's not like, I think the thing is that he's not like. This is an observation I had when he. Okay, so. Okay, here. Let me start with this. I'm gonna play the story out because I don't even know how much time we're gonna even make for the rest of the podcast. But like, so it was the night of Camp Merrimack Charity Bash. People were leaving, and I wanted to get Xander's signature on the hat. Mm-hmm. And so I go up to him, it starts that way. I'm like, well, I explain the story, and he's like, well, that's really funny, It's like you're kind of like the traveling man, and he tells his assistant Kara, I remember her name, or Kara.
Kara.
Oh yeah, what? Put on the traveling man, and like he started putting that on, and then I'm telling him the story of the hat. The hat's going here, there, and everywhere. Like, oh, the hat's going everywhere. Like, and I was like, I drove in from New York City. It took me like such and such hours. Like, so you're the traveling man. And so all I wanted was the signature, and it turned into this conversation. I don't even know how long I was there. It was time started stopping and whatnot.
That's what happened.
And like by the way, Eric is there. Eric with a K with his girl. Vibes BMX on Instagram. He's watching all this. Who else is there? I don't even know. Everybody's gone. Just me and Xander right there, and Kara. And so apparently, she's great. She's awesome, actually.
Yeah, she is.
So the traveling man's playing, and all of a sudden, like he's done signing the hat. We're talking. I'm talking about his main projects. And I was like, I'm just. It's great that what you're doing, and et cetera, et cetera. He's like, I don't want you to go yet. Just sit right there. Well, hold on, sit down for a second. He's like, I want to draw you, and I'm like, I'm not saying no. So I let him draw me, and it's on our Squawking Dead Instagram. It's you'll see it. It's kind of like brownish and whatnot. But he starts off by doing a sort of pseudo charcoal of what he sees, etc. And then he just gets water, like a paintbrush and water, and it's his way of painting. He paints the charcoal, in different amounts of water, different pressures, etc. And I think the experience is actually in the watching, not as much as the finished product. Yeah. I mean, again, the journey rather than the destination, the traveling man, the song, me driving all this way, him making it to Maine. There's just something in what is going on. Yeah. And it was just weird. It was just a weird, awesome moment. We were talking. I was maintaining this weird glance at him too. I was trying to do this the whole time. And I'm staring at him right in the eyes. And I'm like, the actor part of my brain is kind of like, by the way, just for the audio, I'm doing this kind of eyes looking through slits glance kind of at him, like over my shoulder, with my cowboy hat on. And like, so it's almost kind of mean. He's like, he actually said something about like, ugh. He kind of gave me this like, oh, look, you're like, you're going to keep looking at me like that. And then
that's what we're going with.
Yeah, Is that what he said? I think that's what he said. Yeah. So I guess we're doing this. And so the end product, obviously, it's on our Instagram now, and kind of like as a thank you. And I didn't let him know, but Carol, I have a present for you. I actually got the Stephen Ogg print, a print of Stephen Ogg, the one that he did of Stephen Ogg. And so at some point, I'm gonna have to find a way to give it to you. And I gave him like a $20 tip. I said, Kara, like, don't give me change. This is for you. You can keep that. So you get that from that whole experience. Because I kind of wanted to share that with you in a weird way. Because I know you like Stephen Ogg. He's so weird. He's kind of so precious.
Precious, exactly.
He is.
So, and the fact that it's the Ogg couple, it's Xander, creating. He even told me how that came about. He's like, he was looking at Xander. He was like a man. Like how much he's gone through in life, and he wanted to draw him as grand as possible, and it was like this weird, awesome moment. And Walani, I was definitely beside myself. I was not there. I mean, I was there, but not there. It was just me and Xander. I didn't even know who was there by the end of it. But it's just such a weird, unique, wonderful experience, and I put it that way in the video on the way home. But it was awesome, and so that's the end, basically, of Camp Merrimack Charity Bash. There's so much in between that happened where, between the hat, I gave away a bunch of T-shirts to people who I arranged in advance. So I bought their sizes, I bought whatever they wanted, and those who chimed in on time, like the week before the bash, I got in touch with, and They ordered the sizes that I wanted, and I got them everything. And it was cool. I rolled them up. I put a little business card in there. It was a really good one, Carol.
Look at you.
I did my research.
Good job.
I'll show you what I sent them later. But But it was really cool to just meet people, and a lot of the people I've met, I'm friends on Facebook with, I chat with now.
Yeah.
See every now and again. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's just really awesome to meet people, and that's what that's what I constantly told people. It's really, I don't really care about meeting the cast as much, except for Cassidy McClincy. That's a singular, unique. Also, that's like Xander Berkeley level energy right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. You've seen her, if you ever seen Cassidy McClincy in an interview. So that's her with you in person. This bubbly, energetic,
right?
Arms going everywhere, facial expressions like she's very happy. This is her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when you're taking the photo ops and stuff like that, and selfies and stuff like that,
I saw.
Her energy is nonstop.
I tried to match it. I couldn't.
No way.
I don't respect people who don't try though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew I couldn't, so I didn't bother.
You're like,
I was like, it's been a long day. I just want to hi and get a hug and whatever. You
sounded almost annoyed with her level of energy.
She was spinning kids around in circles, and I'm just like, she's been like this for 10 hours now. Like,
that is so amazing.
How? Everybody gets the exact same energy from her. Doesn't matter who it is. And I'm just like, this girl is she's the next big star. She's just bringing people in by just her personality and the way she is with them. And,
like a collapsing star, she's sucking in planets.
And I mean everyone just like enamored by how she's just on. She's on.
Yeah, Lance is saying she's a complete nut but an awesome person. Yvette's saying she's pure love. It's true.
I mean, there was people's kids who didn't want to leave her because they're having so much fun.
Well, I mean, and she lets them. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of weird though too when you hear that. But like the point being is that like as much as that was incredible, and all the people I took selfies with are just so genuine and so nice. Like even Pollyanna McIntosh, like she's awesome.
Oh man.
But I came there to really interact with the people that I've been interacting with. I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. I want to make fun with you.
Yeah.
It came out kind of wrong. Like, I want to make fun with you. How's 8 p.m. on a Friday looking? I'll be 2 hours late. Anyway. That's the best part about it. Like,
it is. It really is.
Like
the moment you had with Xander is, similar to the one that I had with Pollyanna.
Right.
And just,
Don't tell
something.
Us about it? There's a fiance in the room.
No. It's just like, it's something that like unexpected that you didn't think was going to be obviously in your weekend, so like, my the way that I thought things were going to go is I was going to go there, hang out and just whatever, and then do the panels and then come home.
Like do your job.
Yeah. And, I ended up being on, security detail and whatever, which was fun because I got to work with two great guys, Dustin and Chris. Shout out to them. Those guys did security for the event and they were top notch. Gentlemen, professionals, everything. Great guys.
They were class acts.
Yeah. So we're at Chris Twellmann's basement. And Pollyanna's done doing her photos and she's hungry. So I'm like, all right, well, she's like, I have a friend that's supposed to come pick me up in 30 minutes. And I'm like, well, it was like 1:15 and she had to do like her photo ops again started at 2. So I'm like, well, if you wait for your friend to come get you in 30 minutes, eating ain't going to happen. So we get in a golf cart. Because down there, it's just like you get in a golf cart and drive anywhere you want. And it's amazing. I love it. And she wanted some, I think she wanted a salad or whatever. So we ended up bringing her to the Sonoy Cafe. She has the three of us as her security. We go in, get a table for her, whatever. She orders her food. She comes sit down and she just kind of started like, so what do you do? She was like more interested in like who I was, what I did, who Chris was, the other guy that I was with, who Dustin was, what he did and whatever. And just had this like once in a lifetime opportunity I was with her for over an hour and just have her pick my brain and be able to, and for her to like, so here's like the weirdest thing, weird for me, but she goes, I'm telling her, she goes, I've heard about you. She goes, the other cast members have told me about your podcast and how much fun it is. And I'm like, you're lying. Like,
Yeah.
Don't play with my emotions. Don't mess with me like this. Like, this is not cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, darling.
Yeah. She's like, no, in her accent, she's like, no. She's like, I really have. She's like, I've this and that. And I was just like, and she takes out her phone and she's like, give me your contact information. And I was just like, yeah. Podcast? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like that's something that's never going to happen again. And I'm grateful for those moments, that I've been able to have, and expect, and like being able to hang out with Dustin and Chris, who are brothers now to me, for the things that they do for our country, everything. Much respect for those guys. They're amazing guys in what they do. So that whole meeting and everything was just amazing. I know Dave ended up coming down to get something to eat too, and he ends up walking in, and I'm sitting at the table, and I look up, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, so this is cool, weird, awkward. Like, I'm sitting.
I'm like, I'll leave.
I'm sitting in Pollyanna's she's eating quiche. Look, it's quiche.
I'm like, I got it. I'll see you later. I know where I'm not wanted.
No,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
What was it? Because I think I texted you, and I was like, I'll just, and I don't know. I don't remember what I did at the end. I really don't.
I know you came in, and that was really it. And then her friend showed up, and then she had to go back to her photo ops. So it was just like, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. Crazy in a great way, but
like, yeah, and just to kind of go back to like the whole Walker Stalker thing versus like this experience, it's singular. It's so awesome.
You would never get that.
You'd never know, and that's the thing. Like, I want to if Camp Merrimack does what it does again.
Mm-hmm. It's already going to, and I even know where the venue is.
Apparently it is, and Karen's there chiding me right now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I knew that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if everything lines up 100%, I mean, let's get the ball rolling from now, because I do want to see more of you guys. Yeah. I think it's a great venue to kind of, because that's the thing. Doing Camp Merrimack Charity Bash, A, it's for a good cause. B, I get to talk to you. I will. If we do Walker Stalker, there's a chance I'll be like, hey Sam, peace out, and then bye.
Yeah.
And we gotta
go. Try to find you amongst the 20,000 people.
Exactly. You'll go in the rows, and it's like you're gone. But that's the thing. That's what I want, and I really sincerely, I just urge everybody to do it. It's like coming down to earth. Everybody kind of gets together. It's very familial, It's
Georgia
awesome.
Peach.
Georgia Peaches.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I could like tell people: go to a big con and enjoy it, because you'll never be to a big con again. Like,
yeah,
go do that, get that experience, but then come to a smaller event, and you'll have all that wow, holy cow, look at all these people kind of moment from the big con, and then when you come to a smaller con like ours, and you get the family friendly, your kids are playing and running around having a great time, you're able to know that everybody's safe because they have paid for security everywhere. Local, the Peachtree City police were there. It was a community event, and you literally got to like sit down next to whoever you wanted to, and just hang out.
Like, I also like
that actors are hanging out with you.
I also like that it was at the lake too. It wasn't like in the middle of downtown, like a circus. Like there were events downtown. You could go on the tours and all that stuff, which they promoted the heck out of, which is awesome. But like the prisoner tour with the prisoners, like Vincent Ward and Marquise Moore.
Where are you going to get to do that?
Yeah, it's like
where are you going to go to get on a tour with Pollyanna, Sabrina, and Thomas, and go do a tour?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you doing
Heapsters
that?
tour, right? Exactly.
Yeah, the Heapsters tour. You're not doing that with Walker Stalker.
No, you're
You
not.
know?
In downtown Atlanta, go screw yourself, right? Exactly.
And I mean, and those are the things like, you know what? We can't right now. We can't offer you JDM. We can't offer you Norman. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can give you 30 other people who will hug you, hang out with you, have a drink with you, party with you afterwards.
And it's what they want too, by the way.
It's what they want. They don't want to be cooped up like animals
and shuttled around, which is the point of why we mentioned it before. Like, you do have to go to certain things, or but I think, and that was the other thing, the magical thing about like I guess the icing on the cake, because this is just so minor, but like within the last I want to say month, maybe even less than a month, like we had this pylon of Pollyanna McIntosh coming after the announcement for Cassidy McClincy arriving, and then I'd heard that some people were trying to make it over there, like Cooper Andrews, like I know he and Kari wanted to make it over there as well, but like the fact that next year could be bigger and better, I mean it's secondary, but the fact that magic like that can actually happen is pretty awesome. Like and who doesn't like a good charity too? Like feeding hungry children and
helping out dogs,
right? Exactly. Medical services, was it? I think. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You can't be beat. People are a sucker for both children and dogs.
That's what I said.
So let me see. We got 2 minutes left on the Zoom, which is fine. And a whole half hour on the Instagram. Now, okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I think you'll all agree with me. I don't think we're going to be covering Fear the Walking Dead. If we start now, first of all, Carol will be really mad at me. He's like, this is bullshit. I need to sign up for this.
Carol's like, dude, my bed is calling my name.
Dude.
Yeah, I might fall asleep if we start talking about this.
I know.
So we're not.
But
this will give us an opportunity to kind of expand even a little bit more. Because I did want to shout out, by the way, one more person, or two more people, actually. Obviously, Lance, Milogy Media, because he's in the chat, and he's just such an awesome motherfucker. And this is me breaking the FU rule, but like I did that already. But Lance is just such a cool dude. He's like an aspiring filmmaker. He was a walker on the show. Just all around really nice guy, taking shots. And every now and again, like we'd bump into each other, like, "Hey, you again, motherfucker!" And it's just like it's just so much. It's just so much fun hanging and talking and just shooting the shit and talking about what we do and. Yeah. About the universe, but also about mostly about life, honestly. And what's the other thing? His dog, but his wife. What's his wife's name? I forget. It looks such an asshole because she's right there too. But it was just such a joy interacting with them both. And the other thing is the fact that, and this is something I wanted to talk about briefly, is the fact that so many people heard of our podcast, and it was a weird thing.
Surreal.
I'm just being honest. I do all this shit this. Yeah. I change the website every season. I interact on social media every single hour of every single day. And I keep my nose in what I'm doing. And it's not like a business thing for me. It's not about that.
Sincere about it. I know.
It's just being engrossed in the universe and love and all that stuff. And really just putting my heart in the work and editing the podcast and stuff like that. So damn it. And I warned myself that it would be 2 minutes. Let's see. Let's get everybody back in, because I have a point that I wish to address that I didn't express immediately last time. There we go. And Rachel, everybody check in, say hi.
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Chris?
Clicking buttons.
Yo.
Okay, good. Let's start recording. The point of my spiel was that, keeping my head down, doing my work, trying to make things better, improving things, tweaking things, chatting with everybody along the way, having fun. And the thing is that I rarely, if ever, lift my head up and find out how we're doing.
Right.
I don't know how many people are listening to us. I don't know what our audience is like, and not to say that it matters / not matters. Like everybody wants to know how they're doing, but at the same time, I'm enjoying myself so much, or I'm so busy trying to try things out and make things better and improve things so that people enjoy the show better, that I don't realize that people are listening. We got so used to people not listening, and just me trying to keep doing things, throwing spaghetti on the wall, that I don't realize that. And so it's like people coming up to me and going, Dave, I'm like, holy, why? Or sometimes it'll be like, oh, I know you. What the Reedus effect? What's up, dude? Hey, here's my son. He looks like Austin Emilio. Yeah, he does look like Austin Emilio. He sure does. Yeah, and he was wafer thin that night. And everybody's dying of dehydration at Camp Merrimack, but that's a whole other conversation. But it just the idea that people were expressing the fact that just love listening to you and love the way you break things down, and you're just such a genuine guy. This is what I've heard. It's not me. And you make things fun, and you kind of bring it down to everybody's level, and it just hearing these things has been so first of all jarring.
It's humbling.
Yeah, it's like somebody told me something I didn't know. Oh, you listen. It's awesome. But then on top of that, all the other stuff, and it's like, well, that's what I've been trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do. God damn it. Yeah. And it's really nice to hear that people are responding to it, and then positively. Yeah. And it just keeps building on top, and it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to stammer out a thank you to everybody who's chimed in, said hello. Let me know, and again, this is what I want. I want to interact with you. I want it to be about us. I want the show to kind of be a thing where we can all interact and kind of contribute to it and have a voice, and the We Are Squawking Dead thing. We are Squawking Dead. I have to get speaking of that, I have to get the Instagram chat here. Okay, good. But yeah, thank you. That's all I wanted to say. So special shout out also to Alexis and Julie, WD_addict, RG best. I think she meant to spell obsessed. I get it. She was so obsessed that she missed a couple letters. And her friend Julie, who is a new TWD family member, she got on the TWD train a couple years ago and then binged the whole thing. And yeah, they grew up together in Florida, and now Julie had moved to Texas and then moved back recently again, and so they're back together again, and it was just really cool to hang out with these two gals. I don't know, it's really weird when you meet somebody and it's like, oh, it's like we've known each other all our lives. You ever get that, you ever meet that person and you're like, oh yeah, you just go off with a bang.
It's seamless.
Yeah. It's like it's like, did I grow up with you? Did we go to high school? It's like that's how it felt like to hang out with Alexis and well, more Alexis, obviously, because I know her more, but Julie too. It was just a lot of fun. And so it was just a really nice, I wanted to give them a shout out because, it was just, they made me feel welcome, and I wanted to make them feel welcome, and just give them everything of me. And I'm making this sound really terrible, but I kind of wanted to give them, I kind of wanted to be around them and interact with them, and because of first of all, Alexis has kind of been a fan from kind of the beginning, actually, too. And so to kind of be in her presence, it was just really cool. We were friends, and she introduced me to her best friend. And so, her best friend's Instagram, by the way, before I forget, is rosita.dixon01 on Instagram. Welcome her, follow her, give her some love. She just moved back to Florida. You say, hey, how was your move? Just freak her out like that. It's like, who are you? Don't tell her I sent you too until later. But I think it's pretty awesome, and thank you. I thank you for hanging out, and thank you for interacting. I really cannot wait to see you guys again, whatever the con is. So I really just wanted to say that long-windedly. Thank you. Okay, so I am now at the Fear the Walking Dead portion, which I think we'll push off. But, Chris, let's talk about Camp Merrimack Charity Bash in general. let's talk about your panels. I want to know what went on in your mind during, because you were like very hard on yourself when you were all done. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I think you were almost like beating yourself up.
So you go through and you try to prepare questions for everybody. You want to give everybody equal amount of time to talk and equal amount of questions for everything. But what happens is in reality is, and especially for like some of the people who actually like, or like that know us, it kind of just develops into a conversation. So while you're in the conversation, you're literally answering and going through all the questions that you had ready for them.
Yeah.
And
So
then
like me on the podcast? Yeah.
And then when you go to look at your question card or on my phone, and I'm like, I just went over that, so I can't ask that. So Ryan, what do you got? That happened like twice. And it happened with like, I think it happened with, it happened on the prisoner panel.
Again, he's beating himself up, ladies and gents.
Yeah, it happened on the prisoner panel, and because sitting there, I'm like literally staring at this question as he's talking, and I'm like, this next question is for, I think it was, who was it for? I think it was for Lou. It might have been for Lou Temple, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I can't ask this question now. So in my head, I'm thinking about now. I'm tuning into what he's saying and like how I can like continue that kind of thought.
Right.
So there was just like two times where it was at least two times. I can't remember who the other person was, where I just kind of had dead air playing in my head, and I was trying to fill the void. So like there was a few times where I just kind of looked at Ryan and I'm like, and what do you have?
Which, by the way, worked in your favor because I think because we've all been there. Like me doing this podcast, I'm there almost all the time.
Right.
But and especially like when we're covering specific like episodes and stuff like that, sometimes, especially like when you have Voltron, when you have all five of us,
right,
where we cover which is great because we cover so much so fast.
Yeah.
But then like the way I've arranged my notes is in such a way, and I'm trying to get there, but like I have it like scene by scene, and I now have them kind of tabbed and kind of to where like they're kind of grouped together. Yeah. But sometimes, man, we're covering things and then we bounce about so much that I'm like going up and down the list, and then I'm like, guys, hold on, sorry.
And that's literally the one thing that I can say that from the panel aspect and what I learned from that, because I was like, this is going to be a great tune-up, warm-up for New York Comic Con. And like the one thing they even like talked to like Brandon, and I'm going to talk to Dave about it too, is just like you have your questions, you have your prep, but know that every conversation goes into tangents, and like there's always, you know what I mean? Like there's this rapid discussion that happens at certain times, and you look down at your cue card and you're like, we just covered 5 of those things. Where do I go next kind of thing, And it's just like, so those are things that I took away that I want to like learn from and be able to adapt to, and obviously I'm going to talk to two of the guys that have been doing it for a long time, and I'm sure who have been there, and just kind of like pick their brains and be like, what have you done? Like when you've gotten caught up like that. So, and I want to be able to, obviously, and I'm going to make the show better next year for everybody who goes, obviously, and improve myself, improve, the audience's kind of, their show, their part of it. And, cause I mean, if you're up there and, you're struggling or whatever, number one, you feel even more awkward. You feel more stressed, and whatever. And like, you're taking away from their involvement and their enjoyment in what they're watching if you're sitting there stammering and stuttering, so.
But believe me, nobody's really. You think that people are thinking that, but I can guarantee you that when they see you up there, they're kind of rooting for you, like in their own little heartbeat kind of way. No, because I think you thought you were doing terribly, but you weren't. Like honestly, it's kind of like when Rachel was with Ryan Hurst. It's like you're like like inside, but on the outside you were super cool and super chill. You can even see it in the photos, by the way, or maybe it's when you see yourself, all you see is how you felt,
right?
But you were super cool. I mean, obviously there were like little pauses here and there, but like, you know, Ryan would pick it up, or like sometimes, actually most of the times I found the actors would pick it up.
Yeah, they would.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
But didn't you notice that when that happened a little bit, like, okay, oh wait, they're making it easier. Okay, I can relax a little bit.
No, Steve Coulter.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
and I wish I caught that panel too. Steve Coulter, who played Reg in Alexandria.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, I mean, look, I can usually like unhinge the situation by just like random, you know, snarky comment or, you know, funny comment or something like that. Or I can pick on Ryan. Real quick to derail everybody, and I get a laugh at everyone, you know, and Ryan just looks at me wanting to put a bullet in me. But, you know, like, but I'm like, I got us out of it. Hey, yeah, I know. Okay, got us out of that snag real quick. Sorry you had to take it, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the actor as well. Like, Steve Coulter is an amazingly funny person.
Yeah.
And he definitely at times he carried that panel just by. He's another one when you talk to who is so animated and can like go in and out of character or a personality or whatever like that. And he did it on stage. It was great. He plays a really good like old man. He just does it, like, you know, like where he said at one point he goes, "Wait, where am I?
Where am I?
Where am I?" So,
Who are you?
You know, yeah, and it's stuff like that breaks all that tension, and you're like, okay.
Okay, hold on, I'm back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I'm there with you right now. I understand that 100%. But I think Carol would probably see, because what you did, Carol, was okay. While I was obsessing over trying to get all this material for, let's say, Tom Payne.
Yeah,
I was getting like the notes of how he came on the show, what movies that he's been before, how he was trained, how he came to America, how America's his home, blah blah blah. I did all this research.
You did.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
I do remember that.
But then we get to the interview, and Carol's like, because I put this all in a note. That we shared, right?
That.
And she read them all. And I'm sure you probably like you read something here and there.
No, I like read through it. I was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, but she's like, yeah, I got this. She goes to the interview, and she's like, wham, 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 like just focused. And I'm like, holy shit.
You know what the thing is? Like, I feel like for me, but
because you're good at conversation, that's the thing.
You know, shockingly enough, like I was very, very quiet and timid. You wouldn't think that now.
You're saying as a kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I believe that.
Yeah. But, you know, I went away, but when I went away to college in Philly, and I was kind of like by myself. What?
This is my story too.
It's like it was the first time I ever been away, and it's like I knew nobody. I had no friends, no family, no anything. So it's like, listen, you know, you got to like speak up. Otherwise, it's like you're not gonna know anybody. You're not gonna make any friends. You're not gonna get a job. Nothing. You know,
sink or swim, right?
Yeah, sink or swim. And even in like, you know, because you know we all have jobs, obviously, and like for me, it's like I'm in construction. You know, I'm in construction management. I'm around dudes all the time. And like, you know, if I was just like, you know, like it would kind of be a problem, you know? So it's like, you know, you have to be able to be comfortable speaking. And so like for me, like when we knew we were going to meet Tom Payne, I was like, I just wanted it to be a conversation. I just wanted it to be like, especially when we realized how limited time we had, you know what I mean? Because like, it wasn't until we got there that we knew that our time was probably going to be limited, you know? So it was like, okay, we only have so much time with him. So this needs to be a comfortable conversation where we can just kind of like get to know him and, you know, get to touch on a lot of the stuff that we wanted to know, you know?
Or we thought other people would want to know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we just kind of winged it.
Yeah. But the point being is that I spent so much time doing research, trying to think of the best questions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then what was really great about that is that, okay, Carol absorbed all that, and then she just had that here, and she just kind of went with whatever was going on. She was just keyed in, you know. The stuff was all back here.
I like talking to people,
you know. And it's not like she didn't use it. She used it. It was really cool. It was really cool to watch, like all the stuff that I really worked so hard to put on paper. And like, let's get these questions right, because they weren't really in question form. They were just kind of factoids. Right. Yeah, I think there were some questions though. I don't know. Anyway, like make sure to ask him about question mark. Like
right.
But yeah, so it's great, and I think that's what I want to say to you is like, okay, you have all these questions, you kind of know, maybe you can arrange them in and around the same topic, but what I find, and it's even the way I arrange my notes, is that sometimes I keep certain things together, and then sometimes, and Carol said this many times, sometimes you just have to throw out the notes. We kind of did that today. Yeah. And I feel like that when we do that, though, the show is so much more enjoyable. It's so much more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm looking at comments. I'm seeing Lance, Milogy Media, talking about being a walker, and Miss Mazel, Julie. I just found out her name again, Julie. Is talking about being an extra as a walker and sweaty and a hot mess, and it's awesome. And just watching these people interact, and everybody's having fun. It's like we're at a party, and you're all invited, and it's just awesome. So not like the breakdowns. The breakdowns are kind of like, they're more technical, they're more focused, and yes, we tangent because we love you. Yes. Also, we hate you, but we figure it out. It's when you can have something like this where, okay, you have all these notes, but then you kind of toss them away a little bit and just go off the cuff. I love those shows, and Carol taught me how to do that, to be honest.
How to go on tangents.
No. Sort of. But like to kind of take the notes and throw them away.
We balance it out. No, because your notes give me the insight of like you said, like, no, it's true, to give an idea of like, okay, well, what do we want to like find out? And then it's like, okay, this is the end game. We want to find this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the notes, like even some of the, I went a little nuts on this one because there were some cool things to look at, and not to say that we're going to talk about this, but the sign up,
some cool stuff.
The video sign up sheet, I recorded all the videos, and it's pretty important actually. And also the names on the tapes that Althea has. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I wrote the descriptions of all the movies, and also I wrote down the coordinates on Althea's tablet, like of all the people they tried to find but are dead or missing. But I wrote them down. Not that I could find them on Google Maps because I'm just a bumbling idiot. Maybe somebody else can help me, but yeah.
I mean, I know we weren't going to talk about it, but what about the intertwining, the CRM, the intertwining circles? What do you guys think about that?
Oh, it's definitely Rick related.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
For sure.
You said CRM?
That's what it said on the
on one of the cards, right?
On the cards, yeah. Well, on all of the documents, it had like CRM stamped on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah, we'll talk offline about that. Screw
but
you guys.
It's all like, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
It's all happening.
It's all happening.
I actually really enjoyed, and it's really kind of a shame, I really enjoyed watching Talking Dead afterwards because you got so much cool insight from Andrew Chambliss and Ian Goldberg about what's happening.
So I heard that Talking Dead is going to be every couple of weeks. Is that true?
And that's what I was going to get to next. The next Talking Dead is not going to be until the mid-season finale.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom. Which is weird.
Is this only for Fear, you think?
Just for Fear.
Better be.
I was going to say, like.
Well, because they're pushing so many AMC shows.
Because I was like,
Yeah, it's all about what they play afterwards.
Well, they don't even do the trivia, by the way. Like, if you notice, like, they kept scaling back every year with Fear, like scaling back what they do normally on The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. So now they're at the point where they don't have Talking Dead anymore.
But now you have Fear, who is it's the number one show on Sunday nights.
Yeah, in the summer, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, like I don't know why they would pull out now when.
But do you think it's
they have so many relevant things that are happening?
But do you
to
think
the universe?
But do you think it's because like eventually like it's just going to merge? Like there is like an end game in sight for Fear?
Yes, maybe an end game in sight for Fear, maybe. I don't think that the universes will merge. I will maintain that. Only because there's too much evidence from things people said to say that it won't. But I will say I'm starting to feel like certain people maybe
There's definitely some crossover.
Right. We'll have a, in the setting will definitely be on The Walking Dead again, but it will be one of those things where it'll be in a completely different setting. Yeah, that's my feeling. And I think one of those people I happen to believe or feel is going to be definitely Morgan. It has to be Morgan.
Yeah.
And I think this whole idea of the mission thing, like having this mission and all that stuff that they're talking about in this episode, the mission that doesn't come to fruition. Haha, it rhymes. I think that is actually going to play a lot into what propels the movies, the spin-off, even The Walking Dead at some point, probably.
Yeah,
So-
I just want to go on record saying that I couldn't stop telling Morgan to shut the fuck up during that episode.
It's
Like
tough.
with this, well,
It's
we
a
gotta
tough watch.
try. We gotta try. I'm like,
I know, it
"No,
is a
fucker,
little-
you
Just
ain't
let her
gotta
be
try
depressed.
shit."
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Enough with this saving everybody thing, man.
I know.
You know?
Well, they're all on that kick, and they're all
Yeah, but-
expressing their feelings
But
differently.
you know what? It's just cliche. It's like the Martha shit. You know how I felt about that shit.
when you have literal teenagers looking at you calling you stupid, you know there's a problem.
Yeah.
We'll talk when we were done with this patient right here. Like it's like, no, Grandpa, see you later.
yeah, exactly.
We bouncing, okay? See ya.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I promised that we wouldn't talk about this episode. Now we have. Let me see how much we have on the. Okay, we have enough time on the stream. Yeah, we're almost at the 2-hour mark on the live stream.
Good
like
Lord.
7 minutes away. But let's leave it here. What I'm gonna do is we'll do episode 53. We'll do a pure Fear the Walking. It should be much shorter than this episode. But I think we should have done this episode definitely before we did. It's like we're exposing our flaws. Here is the magic behind the magic. Yeah, we should have done this episode probably before our breakdown of Fear the Walking Dead. It's just we got lives, okay? We got day jobs. This isn't free. It's kind of like a money pit, okay? You throw money in, you never see it again.
But you have lives. I just sit around waiting for the next podcast.
Like lives, what?
What's a life?
She's like Dave, when is
Are you
our
there?
next podcast? When is our
I'm
next-
here. I'm ready.
She's like with her headphones and the microphone on. I'm like, my husband showed me how to do this thing.
I'm so proud.
I know how to use the internet now. I learned the internet just for podcasting.
Oh no, I still need help with the internet.
Rach, you come light years. Like I remember back in the winter with your headphones and like your cell phone, like
My phone dying.
That was kind of impressive, though. I have to admit.
it was impressive. Yeah. Like, look at you now.
Yeah, look at you. You got a
I know.
Yeti.
My husband's like, "Don't you have a laptop at work?" I'm like, "Oh, I do."
Duh.
Hello.
Oh man, you guys, it's so cute.
I'm getting better.
Yeah. So I think with that, I don't know when we're gonna see you again, but well, that's what sucks. Let's talk about this right now before the stream ends. Would you guys be willing to do tomorrow night at all? Would you want to or be able to?
I won't be home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lied. I do have a life. I'm sorry.
Or tomorrow during the day. I don't know. All right, we're gonna wake
No,
up.
actually, my friend's turning 30 tomorrow, so we're celebrating a birthday tomorrow.
30.
Well, what's your friend's name?
Jessica.
Jessica. Happy 30th. We might as well do a public service.
Yes,
Jessica,
seriously.
happy birthday, happy 30th. It's a wonderful time in your life, and
Yeah.
your 20s are far behind you. Those 20s, I know who you are, Jessica. I know who you are.
Stay away from 40.
If you're friends with Rachel, we know who you are.
Yeah.
So you're reaching this age of maturity, and I just wanted to say you made it. Welcome to the club.
I do want to say that if you take this Georgia peach here and probably add a nice vodka, it's pretty good. So
Just a
you
little
drink
bit.
that tomorrow at
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Yeah. That's another PSA for you.
There's my
Jessica.
keep it clear drink of the day.
That's right.
Drink. Yeah. If it's clear, you're in the. What's the rule? If it's brown, drink it down. I forget how it goes.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't remember that.
I'm an idiot. So
I don't know. Dave, it looked like you were throwing back some moonshine earlier.
Yeah.
I just
You
drink.
got your mason jar there.
If it's wet, drink it. That's my rule.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
It better be cold too, though. I'm not drinking something wet and warm. Ugh.
Oh.
I never cared. I guess. I mean, when I turned 30, I started having standards, but still,
Yeah.
just after 30, a little after, because I had all the drinks when I turned 30. But that's it. I mean, guys, let's talk about maybe getting together really quickly. Wait, how about this? Would you guys want to maybe even cover both episodes next week? Are we heroes? Are we heroes?
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say that now.
Now watch this week's episode be like jam packed with everything. We'll have like
God.
a first episode and
Daniel
then a
Salazar.
mega second episode.
Next episode.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Exactly. But we've wasted your time enough, folks. let me get the chat back up so I can see it. Oh, damn it. I lost the Instagram stream.
Everybody leave? Oh.
I'll get them back for like a few minutes. Yeah, that I want to spend left. Okay, hold on a second. No, I don't have to copy the key anymore, so hold on. I mean, the rest of the streams know that we're streaming. But Instagram's what's important. Instagram's like, it is like that kid, the youngest child. You know what I mean?
You lost the whole stream on Instagram.
Exactly.
It's a millennial.
It needs
Instagram's
all the
like
attention.
a millennial.
Yeah, what a bitch. It's like my little sister. Okay.
Sure, she loves to hear that.
She is the best. She's the most creative of us, honestly. That's a lie. I am.
That's I was going to say that's saying something because man,
I love her that much that I would lie. Hey guys, sorry about that. I didn't even know how long they were off the stream. That's how bad.
Oh no.
It's like we got into this tangent, we just couldn't stop. And I'm sorry, guys. If you want to catch up with the little bits that we missed, you could probably rewind the YouTube stream or the Facebook stream. However, I wanted to get back on to say sorry, but also say thank you for joining us. We'll try to cover actually both episodes in the next go around, which will probably be also 2 hours. So with that, guys, Chris, thank you again for not only making this show, but thank you again for steering my hand and Camp Merrimack Charity Bash. Carol, it's really great seeing you again. I missed you.
I miss this too.
Rachel, as always, you bring such life to this podcast. It's really great to have you again. And we'll see you in a few days, probably. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I promise the next time I will match everybody with a microphone.
Oh,
Nice.
Yetis all day.
That's
Nice.
I'm gonna have a snow globe, whatever the fuck
Snowball.
it's
It's still a Yeti
Yeah, the
product
snowball.
or blue product. I forget what they're called.
called.
anyway.
Blue product.
I think it's a blue. Yeah, it's blue.
Yeah.
We got a snowball too.
Yeah. Oh, you used it last time
And
too.
Chris, thank you for the donation too. I wanna
Yes,
throw that out
yes.
again.
Yep.
And so yes, to reiterate again,
Thank you.
like, subscribe, leave comments, donate to Rachel's charity for St. Jude's Hospital. It'll reach us. It'll get us that much closer to shaving her goddamn head off.
That's right. And I'm gonna do it live. Everybody can watch me cry in the moment.
Yeah.
No, I won't cry. I might.
I propose this much. If we don't get her to the finish line before, like, just maybe like a week or two before the deadline, I say that we have a shave off where for every $1,000 we raise, we put in another streak in her head.
Take a patch
Yeah,
off.
we'll just keep going. You know, we'll do like a hair-a-thon, a cosmathon, a cosmathon.
There you go.
Well, I'm actually doing cut-a-thons at my salon.
Oh, that's right.
One Saturday a month each. Yep.
Yeah.
June, July, and August. One Saturday a month, I'm going to do a cut-a-thon and all free haircuts. But whatever donations are made is going to go to St. Jude's.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I heard about that, I was like, God damn, girl, that's really awesome what you're doing.
I don't have a lot of money, but I have time. I can give my time.
Yeah.
And my hair.
And expertise, by the way. Yeah.
Sure.
With that, everybody, thank you again. Like, subscribe, comment, join us on this journey we call life. Check out the new website, the new redesign. Check out the merch. We've got hit the main menu, click merch, click the new listen actually option, which is really cool. If you're on an iPhone, it'll open up the podcast app. If you're on an Android, it'll open the Google Podcast app. And if you're on whatever it is that you're on a space phone from the future, it'll just open it'll open the Radio Public page, which is kind of cool. I love how dynamic that link is. Anyway, with that, we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye. See you. Oh, I love you guys. And that's a wrap, everybody.
And that's a wrap.
Oh, stop it.